maybe I should go by that rule from now on, okay? I know your paratransit picks you up at 9 o'clock every morning. Your paratransit gets here at 9 o'clock to pick you up. You have to be out of the house around 8:45. That way you don't have to be late for your ride. And I don't want to make you late for your ride, okay? I think you're supposed to stick to it. And that means you have to be out of the house around 8:45. Just in time to make it for your ride. And I don't want to make you late, okay? And I know you don't get out of work until 1 o'clock. From now on, 1 o'clock. You get on the paratransit at 1 o'clock. From now on, you get out 1 o'clock. And I think that's a good hour for you to get out of work. That's true. Because that's the earliest for you to get out of Davis Street. By the time you get on the paratransit, it's at 1. You're on there between 1:15 and 1:30. That's true. By the time, it takes a half an hour for you to get home. And then you're the last one getting dropped off. Since you're the last one getting dropped off, that means you get in the house between 2:15 or 2:30 in the afternoon. Sometimes you need your space, especially when you get in the house. Send me bothering you on the paratransit, man. So until you get in the house, then I can call you up. So I should respect that schedule, okay? So you're in the house at 2:15 or 2:30. That's a good hour for you to get in the house. Gives you plenty of time to get yourself prepared and all that stuff. That's why you don't want me bothering you. Because you get up really early just to get ready for work. That's right. And that's why you get up at 7 o'clock every morning. You'll get home before I do. For me, I get in the house between 1:45 or 2 o'clock. Sometimes 2:15. It depends on what time they drop me off. Okay? I just let you know that. But I think why the staff is not picking me up anymore is because there are new staff every week. There's always short in staff. That's why they're not picking me up. That's why there's no drivers picking me up, because they're short in staff. Sometimes the staff comes into my house kind of late. That's why. I think they have a hard time not finding my house. That's why. Sometimes they do show up, sometimes they don't show up. That's why I need to learn to be patient with that. Then there's new staff coming in. That's why they have. That's why they haven't. They don't have no drivers picking me up because there's new staff coming in. That's why. Sometimes they're stuck in traffic. That's why they come in kind of late to get to my house. They have a hard time now finding my house. Especially with the new staff, they have a hard time not finding other people's houses. And that's why, and the second thing why my staff is not picking me up is because they forget that, I think they forgot, they didn't know that they didn't know that I'm back home for my trip. I think that's why they haven't been picking me up either. They didn't know I was still on vacation. And I think that's why they have a hard time not picking me up anymore, is because they forgot that I was still, they forgot to pick me up because they thought I'm still on my vacation. That's why I'm having issues about this whole SPS stuff, because I think people forgot I was still on vacation, but I'm not on vacation. I'm not back home. That's why they're not picking me up anymore, is because I didn't know that I'm back from my vacation. I mean, that's why too. Oh,